Let n denote the number of accidents occurring during 1 month on the north side of a highway, and S the number on the south side. Let n and s be jointly distributed as indicated in the table. Calculate variance of n given n plus s equals 2. Now, if you read this problem in the SOA, on the SOA website, it's a bit confusing what they have written in this cell. Let me show you. So they say n\s, so that's kind of confusing. What they meant was that this row is for the south and this column is for the north. So to make it more clear, I have written it like S over here and N over here. So first, let's figure out that which points have N plus S equals 2. So those are when N is 0 and S is 2. N is 1, S is 1. N is 2, S is 0. So those are the points where N plus S is equal to 2. So let's tabulate those 0, 2, 1, 1, and 2, 0. And the corresponding probabilities of those can be read from the table. So for 0, 2, 0, 2, we had 0.10. For 1, 1, 0.18. And for 2, 0, 0.12. So 0.10, 0.18, 0.12. And here I've just separated out the n from these pairs, the 0, 1, and the 2, because eventually we need a variance of n given n plus s equals 2. So n is the main variable. Okay, so now these were the probabilities that so here n is 0 and s is 2 and n plus s equals 2. The probability of that is 0.1. And here again, n plus s is equal to 2, but through 1, 1, the probability is 0.8. And here again, n plus s is equal to 2, but through 2, 0, and the probability is 0.12. So the total probability of n plus s equals 2. These are the three situations where n plus s can be 2, and we have their corresponding probabilities. So if we add them up, we get the overall probability that n plus s equals 2. So adding these three gives us 0.4. And we need probability n equals n given n plus s equals 2, because that's the variance we need. So this is the corresponding probability. Okay, n equals n given n plus s equals 2. So that's equal to f of ns divided by probability n plus s equals 2. Now, the denominator is easy to understand because we know that we always have the given part in the denominator. Numerator, let's understand why the numerator of this one will be f of ns. So this is probability. So let's read the first row. So in the first row, the entry will be, so here n is 0. So the first entry is probability n equals 0 given n plus s equal to 2. So when n is 0, and you know that here normally you would have n is equal to 0 and n plus s equals to 2, right? That's the numerator part. The numerator part is that this and this. So n equals 0 and n plus s equals 2 forces us to have this point, because when n is 0, the only way n plus s is equal to 2 is if the other point is 2. So it's 0, 2 point, and therefore the probability of n is equal to 0 and n plus s is equal to 2 is the probability of the 0, 2 point, which is 0.1. And that's why in the numerator here we have the fns, because that's what it ends up being, as I explained. And therefore we already have everything. We have the denominator. The denominator will always be 0.4. That's the probability n plus s is equal to 2. And Hence, we end up just dividing this column, the FNS column, by the 0.4 to get these entries. And these are now our probabilities related to the variance that we have to calculate. And we can do it through calculator. Now, of course, you can always do the variance by finding the expected value and then the expected value of the variables. So here the expected value would be found by multiplying these and adding up. And then you find the expected value of the square of the variable. So you square these, multiply with these, add up. And then you take the variance by our usual formula of E of x squared minus EX whole square. But remember that we are trying as much as we can to save as much time as we can in the exam. And therefore, even if an alternative method saves us like 30 seconds, it's worth it because every second counts. And it's always shortest in these kind of situations where you have the variable and the corresponding probability and you have to find the variance or standard deviation. It's always quickest to just plug it in the calculator. So let me show you once again. I've shown this a few times. So let's open the calculator. Okay, so the first column was 0, 1, 2. So data, make sure your data is cleared. So 0, enter, 1, comma, 1, enter, 2, enter. And then you scroll over for the second column and enter the probability. So 0.25, 0.45, and 0.3. So 0.25, 0.45, 0.3, enter. And now you do second stats and one variable stats, enter. Data is in L1, frequency is in L2. So make sure the data, the L1 is highlighted and in the frequency L2 is highlighted, because sometimes by default, they have the 1 highlighted in frequency. So you don't want that. You want the frequency to be L2 because that's where we put in the probabilities in the L2 column. And then enter and then calculate. And you're always looking for the population one. So that's 0.74. 0.74 is the standard deviation. Standard deviation is 0.74 and we needed the variance. So we square it and we get 0.55. That was choice B.